Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Sorry it took so long, I've been busy with school work. Trigger warning: this episode contains some sensitive content such as homophobic actions, physical abuse and sexual abuse. I am not in any way homophobic, this is all fictional. In real life. Friday after practice with the whole team. Guys. Are you okay, Yachi? Yeah. What's up, Yachi? Yachi. What's wrong? I just had a question. What is it? I was just wondering how I should come out to my dad. I'm kind of nervous, I don't know if he is homophobic. I don't want him to hate me. Yachi. Has your dad ever done anything to you? No, I mean he has never hit me. He says things that make me think that he won't accept me. What kind of stuff has he said to you, my baby? Yachi, you can tell us. Yeah, we just want to help. He said that I was a mistake, that he never wanted a kid. Tears began to form in her eyes as she spoke. The whole team just stood there silently. He says that I am worthless, that I mean nothing. The tears started to slowly run down her face. He called me a failure. As soon as she said that, she started to sob. Sugar ran up to her and hugged her tightly. He stroked her hair as he whispered in her ear. Yachi buried her face into Suga's chest as she sobbed. SHH. It will be okay. Yachi-san, you are amazing. You are none of those things your father says you are. Hinata is right, you are perfect just the way you are. You are beautiful and smart, you are perfect. Yachi tried to bury her face farther into Suga's chest, blushing lightly at what Kiyoko said. You are not a failure, sweetie. You are an amazing manager. You can light up a room by just walking through the door. You bring a smile to every one of our faces just by being here. You are perfect in every way possible. Your dad just can't see how special you really are. You were put on this earth for a reason. You are meant to be here just as you are. With every word her friend said, she sobbed into Suga's chest harder. The harder she cried, the tighter she gripped onto Suga's shirt. Why doesn't he like me? She asked through tears. Yachi? Where is your mom during all of this? She's dead. OMG, you poor child. How did she die, if you don't mind me asking, that is? My dad said that she killed herself, but I'm not really sure, I wasn't home when it happened. After Yachi had stopped crying, she asked the team how she should come out to her dad. Just tell him that you like girls, and if he doesn't accept you, you can stay with any one of us if you want. Yeah, we are all here for you. Everyone agrees. Okay, thank you guys. I think I'm just gonna go home now, bye, see you tomorrow. They all said goodbye to Yachi's as they watched her walk out of the gym. After Yachi left the gym, everyone looked at each other with concern-filled eyes. Yachi finally made it home after about 20 minutes. She walked through the front door of her house to see her dad watching TV in the living room again. I'm home. What do you want, you worthless piece of shit? And nothing. Sorry for bothering you. Just shut up and go cook dinner, I'm starving. Yachi walked into the kitchen to start preparing dinner. After about 30 minutes, dinner was ready. She set the table with 2 place settings. She then walked out to the living room to get her dad because she knew how much he hated it when she yelled. Her dad got up silently, following her into the dining room. They both sat down and began to eat their food. After a few minutes of sitting in silence, Yachi finally spoke. Dad, I have something to tell you. What is it, you little brat? You what? Come on, spit it out. I like girls. You what? I like G-girls. Yachi's father was furious. He stood up from his chair and slammed his hands down on the table. Yachi flinched at the loud sound. Her father walked around the table so he was closer to her. She slowly stood out of her chair and walked back until she was against the wall. She stood cowering in the corner, afraid of what her father might do. Her father stalked towards her with a disgusted and angry expression plastered to his face. The closer he got, the more afraid she became. When he was standing right in front of her, he pulled his hand back and slapped her hard across the face. She flinched and drew her hands up to cup her cheek. She sank down to the floor as she began to cry. Her father began to yell at her to get up, but she wasn't paying attention to him. She was stuck in her thoughts. in Yachi's head. How could he do this to me? I mean, I know that he hates me, but I never thought that he would ever hit me. He is my father. He is supposed to love me and keep me from harm, not be the cause of it. What did I do to deserve such hate from my father? What would my mother think if she were here now? Would she try to stop him, or would she do the same thing that he did? Would she hate me too? With all of these thoughts, Yachi started to cry harder. She was only pulled out of her thoughts when a glass bottle hit the wall, shattering just above her head. She looked up at her father from her position on the floor as tears ran down her face. Her father yelled once more, demanding that she get to her feet. Not wanting to upset him any further, she obeyed his demand. She stood up and was met with the disgusted and angry expression that was plastered on her father's face. You disgust me. You are a disgrace to this family. With her father's words, she began to cry harder. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't going to save you now, you piece of shit. Yachi's father balled his hand into a fist and rammed it into her stomach. She clutched her stomach as she fell to the ground. Her father demanded that she stand up, however she didn't. She continued to lay on the ground, clutching her stomach. Her father lifted his foot off the ground and slammed it down on her leg, in between her foot and her knee. She didn't know what he was doing until she felt and heard her leg snap. As Yachi screamed out in pain and reached to hold her leg, her dad kicked her in the stomach over and over before she had a chance to cover her stomach. Yachi, who was screaming and crying out in pain, clutched her stomach once more as her father continued to ram his foot into her stomach. The last time he kicked her, his foot didn't hit her stomach. This time it hit her arm, breaking it. She screamed out in pain once again. Feeling satisfied with the pain that he had caused her, he walked away. Yachi lay on the floor sobbing as her father looked back at her and spoke. You will learn your lesson, you worthless little piece of shit. I'm sorry, she said, continuing to sob. Her father walked back out to the living room with a beer in hand as Yachi continued to lay on the floor in pain, both physical and emotional. A few minutes later. If you don't stop your whining, I will come in there and beat you again. She immediately drew her hand up to cover her mouth in an attempt to stifle her sobs. Without realizing it, she used the arm that had just been broken to cover her mouth, making her scream in pain. Her scream was too loud, however, because the next thing she knew, her father was hitting her repeatedly with his belt. With every flick of his belt, it got stronger. They got to the point where each hit was splitting her skin, causing her to bleed. I told you to shut up, you little piece of shit. He hit her a few more times before she passed out from the pain. When he noticed that she had passed out, he walked away from her, going back to what he was watching before with another beer in hand, leaving Yachi lying on the ground unconscious. The next morning, Yachi woke up still lying on the dining room floor. She moved to stand up but fell and made a sound in pain when she put pressure on her two broken bones. When her father didn't tell her to shut up and be quiet, she realized that she was alone. She let out a breath of relief, knowing that her dad wasn't there to hurt her. She leaned back against the wall and used her good arm and leg to push herself up. She made her way to the front door, careful not to use her broken limbs. Before she had the chance to open the door, her father burst in the house, drunk no doubt. She stumbled back, shocked and afraid. Due to the lack of balance, she fell on the ground. That's when her dad noticed her. Where the hell were you trying to go? Were you going to see that girl that has you confused? No, sir. Where the hell were you going? You better tell me or else you will be punished. I just wanted to sit on the porch. I don't believe that. Now tell me the truth. I am telling the truth, why would I lie? Yachi's father was furious by this point. Upstairs now. Why? So I can fix you. Fix me. So I can make you realize that you don't like girls. Warning: mature content ahead. If you don't want to read, you can skip to the volleyball emojis. Yachi followed her dad up the stairs. He walks into his room and grabbed some ropes from the closet. He ordered her to get on the bed. Yachi, not wanting to make her father even more angry, obeyed him. She lay down on the bed and he started to tie her broken leg to the bedpost, make her scream in pain. No, please stop. Don't do this, please. Shut up, brat. He yelled as he began to tie her other leg and then went to tie her hands. Once again, when he was tying her broken arm to the bed, she made a sound in pain, earring her a punch to gut. Once her father was done tying her up, he climbed on top of her and began to kiss her. He slowly ran his hands up and down her body. He trailed kiss down her neck. Slowly he started to rip her clothes off. She tried to push him off of her but had no luck. No, stop. If you don't stop moving, I will make it worse. Yachi continued to squirm underneath him. He got up off the bed and walked to the closet and grabbed a whip and started to snap it, making it hit his daughter. She was sobbing and screaming in pain every time the whip made contact with her skin. She tried to escape again, making her father hit her harder. After a little bit of him hitting her with the whip, he walked back over to the bed and slid her pants off along with his boxers, discarding them on the floor. No, stop, don't please. He climbed back onto Yachi and lined his member up with her hole. He rammed into her, making her scream from the pain. He started moving in and out of her roughly, making her squirm. Ow, no, stop please. He started to go even faster and harder. She began to scream for help while crying in fear. Stop crying like a little baby, you slut. Screaming for help is pointless. There is no one that will save you. There is no one in this world that cares about you. My mother would have cared if she were alive. She is alive and she doesn't care. She left you. She didn't want you. She did want me. You're lying. This made her cry even more. I'm telling you the truth. She never loved you. She never wanted you. And if she saw what you have become, she would hate you even more. Stop lying. She died. She loved me. And I know that if she were here, she would protect me. Unlike you, you asshole. This made her father furious. He started moving his hips faster and began to slap her across the face, letting all his anger out on her. It's your turn to do the work. I will untie you and you will ride me. And when I tell you to stop, you stop. Then you will suck me off, because I am not about to get you pregnant so that I can have another little bitch running around this house ruining my life like you have. Oh, okay. He began to untie her from the bed. When he was done, he picked her up and laid down on the bed, placing her on top of him. She sat there for a few minutes, not moving. Do you want me to get the whip again? And no, sir. Then you better start moving or I will. She began to move up and down on his member, making him moan in pleasure. Oh God, that feels so good. Keep going. Yachi put her hands over her mouth, trying to suppress her moans. Stop covering your mouth. Ugh, God, NGH. Stop trying to NGH. Ugh. Hide the fact that you are enjoying being fucked by a man. I'm not NGH enjoying it. Don't lie to me or you will regret it. A few minutes later. Suck me off now. She climbed off of him. He stood up, making her kneel in front of him on the ground. He put his member up to her mouth and forced it in and began to thrust his hips, causing his member to hit the back of her throat, making her gag. He continued to thrust inside of her mouth until he came. Swallow. She swallowed and started sobbing as he walked back to his clothes, putting them on again before he walked down the stairs and out of the house, slamming the door closed. When Yachi heard the front door close, she slowly made her way across the floor to grab her clothes. She put them on, then made her way to her room, locking herself in. She went into her bathroom and got in the shower, wanting to wash the feeling of her father away. Monday after practice. Kiyoko is online. Has anyone seen Yachi today? Everyone is online except Yachi. Now that you think about it, no, I haven't. Do you think she is okay? I'm sure she is fine. I will pray for her just in case. Jesus is offline. She probably just didn't feel good this morning. She'll be at school tomorrow, don't worry. Okay, I hope you're right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you can subscribe for more.